Day. It's Monday, February 19, 2024. I am Kimberly Ashley with the NRP News. Here are the headlines. Former JTA President Paul Adams found alive. JTA expresses joy on his return. 3 Kingston men were charged in connection with an altercation with the police along Rocky Road on Monday, February 12. Todd's appeal to political parties to invest in campaign motorcade marshals, CMM, to ensure the safety of commuters and motorists participating in campaign activities. Ministry of Education urges teachers to use the ministry's job bank portal to identify jobs in the sector. And in sports, England spiraled to a miserable and massive defeat on the 4th day of the 3rd test in Rashkot. The news today is brought to you courtesy of NRP Radio, reaching you where you are. No boundaries, no limitations.
Celebrating 3 years since our inception, the NRP brand of radio and other social media platforms on NRP Media JA is your newest online platform accessible for the promotion of your church and community activities, along with news and sports related information. It's the platform you have been longing for. So call us today at 876-336-9928 or email us at nationalreligiousmediaja@gmail.com.
NRP Media and Radio, reaching you where you are. No boundaries, limitations.
And now the news in details. The Jamaica Teachers Association has confirmed that Herbert Morrison Technical High School Principal Paul Adams has been found alive. He was reportedly found in Garland's St. James at about 3 p.m. today. Mr. Adams, a 2-time president of the Jamaica Teachers Association, 2001 to 2002 and 2011 to 2012, was reported missing since Sunday night, February 18, and efforts to contact him failed. A search was launched today after Mr. Adams did not turn up for work. President of the Jamaica Teachers Association, Leighton Johnson, has confirmed that Mr. Adams was found, says the JTA, and is grateful for the outcome of the situation and how the event unfolded.
There are aspects of the bill in its current state that we take umbrage. We are really grateful for the outcome of this situation. We thank God that He is alive and that we can now breathe a sigh of relief on how this situation has unfolded. We thank the members of the association, members of the general public, and all persons who prayed for us, prayed for him, supported his family during a very, very difficult and anxious period. We just want to now pray that all is well, and that he can continue to serve his country in the remarkable way that he has been doing over the years.
President of the Jamaica Teachers Association, Leighton Johnson. Meanwhile, Mr. Adams, in videos circulating on social media, spoke of how happy he was to have been found alive.
We are really grateful for the outcome of this. We are really grateful. We are really grateful for the outcome of this situation. We thank God that He is alive and that we can now breathe a sigh of relief on how this situation has unfolded. We thank the members of the association, members of the general public, and all persons who prayed for us, prayed for him, supported his family during a very, very difficult and anxious period. We just want to now pray that all is well, that he can continue to serve his country in the remarkable way that he has been doing over the years.
That was JTA President Leighton Johnson. 3 Kingston men were charged with 2 counts of shooting with intent, possession of a prohibited weapon, and using a prohibited weapon to commit a felony following an altercation with the police along Rocky Road on Monday, February 12. Charged are 18-year-old Devin McGowan, salesman, 27-year-old Fabian Henry, landscaper, both of Tavern Avenue, Kingston 6, 26-year-old Savion Watt of Kintyre Road, Kingston 6. Reports are that between 2:45 a.m. and 3 a.m., a team of officers were on patrol when they signaled the driver of a Toyota Crown motor vehicle to stop after disobeying a traffic light. The police gave chase, and upon reaching Rocky Road, the men opened gunfire at them. The men took evasive action and returned. The men crashed into an embankment moments after. They all alighted from the vehicle and made good on their escape in the area. All 3 men later surrendered to the police. They were charged following a question and answer session on Sunday, February 18. Their court date is being finalized. Charges of shooting with intent, possession of a prohibited weapon, using a firearm to commit a felony, possession of a firearm with intent to injure, and discharge of firearm in any place have been laid against a St. James man in relation to a Sunday, August 6, 2023 event in Canaan District, St. James. The accused has been identified as 36-year-old farmer Gartley Palmer, otherwise called Sushi Fries in the parish. Reports from the Montego Bay Police are that about 3:50 p.m., a man was walking along the roadway when he was approached by a white Tida motor car being driven by Palmer. One man alighted and pointed a firearm at him, but he managed to get hold of the weapon. A tussle ensued, during which he managed to escape his attacker without being harmed. Palmer and his accomplice escaped into the area, and the man later reported the matter to the police. Following an investigation, Palmer was taken into custody on Thursday, August 15, during an operation and was charged on the 18th of August. His court date is being finalized. An AK-47 assault rifle, along with a magazine containing 5 7.62 cartridges, was seized in Cambridge, St. James on Monday, February 19. Reports from the police are that about 7:35 a.m., a joint military operation was conducted in the Bottom Cambridge area, during which the firearm and ammunition were found in an open lot, wrapped in black plastic bag. No one was arrested in relation to the seizure. The Transport Operators Development Sustainable Services, TODS, has called the situation in which 4 persons met their death in Trelawney on the weekend and the conditions which led to the death of a teenage boy from a political campaign bus in Portmore as sad. TODS President Egerton Newman spoke to NRP News.
This is now putting a heavy strain on many families. The accident in Trelawney was a clear notation of speeding at the highest level that caused 4 persons to die in one vehicle. The accident in Portmore was clear indication that there was carelessness on the part of a 15-year-old boy who does not even have a vote and lost his life in a motorcade. I think this one was PMP motorcade. We just reeling from the one in St. Thomas, a JLP motorcade. An elderly lady lost her leg, and today a young boy lost his life.
And Mr. Newman says the leadership of both political parties need to implement strategies to rein in supporters who run afoul of the law. He says the 2 political parties should invest in campaign motorcade marshals, CMM, to ensure the safety of commuters, and that motorists must abide by the road code. Mr. Newman's comments follows at least 3 events in which Jamaicans were left maimed or lost their lives as they participated in campaign activities geared towards the upcoming local government elections.
The Transport Operators Development Sustainable Services is calling on the leadership of the two main political parties to immediately, over the next few days, put in place monitors, marshals, to marshal these motorcades, right? It cannot continue like this. And if we believe in the sanctity and safety of life, we need to take more decisive action to prevent accident on these motorcades. We cannot allow this to continue, and I'm urging strongly that motorcade marshal, campaign motorcade marshals be put in place, CMM, now to avert these major accidents and crashes.
President of the Transport Operators Development Sustainable Services, TODS, Egerton Newman. Minister of Education and Youth, Favor Williams, is encouraging teachers to use the ministry's Job Bank portal to identify jobs in the sector. The portal can be accessed on the ministry's website and aims to streamline the process of finding teachers and teaching jobs. Favor says the ministry is aware that the search process sometimes takes a while to find a school that needs a specific subject area or to come in contact with that primary school that will need it. The new portal will make it easier, and teachers should register and upload their resume onto the job platform so principals and school boards all across Jamaica will have access to that information and make placement and search processes easier. The minister, who was speaking at the Jamaica Teaching Council's Beginning Teachers Synergy conference held at the Micah University College on the weekend, also encouraged teachers to utilize the ministry's online repository of lesson plans from which they can download and tailor the lesson plans to fit the needs of the students. You're listening to news on NRP Radio, your primary Christian source for news, sports, and the weather on nrpmediaja.com. Reaching you where you are, no boundaries, no limitations. And now let's give you some sporting information brought to us by Hepburn's Glass, located at 13 Chisholm Avenue in Kingston.
Hepburn's Glass Appliance is the latest trend-setting supplier of glass and mirrors in the industry. We specialize in tinted and clear glasses, as well as mirrors for all your windows, doors, and closets at very competitive prices. To maximize your shopping experience, we stock 316 and 1/8 mirror thickness and 316 and quarter thickness in our entire stock of float glasses. We have in stock gloves, cutters, and suction cups at unbeatable prices. Our customer service is second to none, with same-day cutting for your specific measurements. Visit our office at 13 Chisholm Avenue, Kingston 13. Call us at 908-0962 or email hepburn.glass@gmail.com. Hepburn's Glass. Quality service is our priority.
And now for our sports stories. Let's join Leon Nash.
Good evening. Kickoff at football. Amadou Adana's header lifted Everton out of the Premier League's bottom three as they rescued a point against Crystal Palace at Goodison Park. Onana rose highest to head home from a corner in the 84th minute. Jordan Ayew scored for Palace, who announced earlier on Monday that Roy Hodgson had stepped down as manager. Former entrant to Frankfurt boss Oliver Glasner has replaced Hodgson. 76 was taken ill during training on Thursday, but is now out of hospital. Ghana forward Ayew thumped a superb strike into the far corner past home goalkeeper Jordan Pickford and looked to have sealed 3 points for Palace before Anana's late intervention. Meanwhile, Crystal Palace have appointed former entrant Frankfurt boss Oliver Glasner as their new manager. The 49-year-old Austrian replaces Roy Hodgson, who stepped down on Monday, so Palace could bring forward their plans to appoint a new manager at the end of the season. Palace are 15th in the Premier League after 10 defeats in the past 17 games. Glasner has signed a contract until June 2026 and will be in charge of Saturday's home game against Burnley. He was pictured watching Tottenham's defeat by Wolves on Saturday, with Spurs hosting Palace on the 2nd of March. Finally, England spiraled to a miserable and massive defeat by India on the 4th day of the third test in Rajkot. In perhaps their worst performances since Captain Ben Stokes and coach Brenton McCullum took charge, England were dismantled by Yashasvi Jaiswal's 214 not out, then capitulated with the bat. Set a national 557 to win, the tourists were bundled out for an embarrassing 122 in a blur of irresponsible strokes. The 434-run margin of defeat in England's largest since 1934 and India's biggest of all time. India, who takes a 2-1 lead in the series, were led by the brilliant Jaiswal's second double century in as many tests. The opener returned on 104 after retiring third evening and took his tally to 12 sixes, equaling the record for a single test innings. In partnership with Sarfaraz Khan, who made 68 not out, Jaiswal took India to a declaration on 430 for 4. Left-arm spinner Ravindra Jadeja ran through England's middle order for figures of 5 for 41 to go with the century he made in the first innings. The fourth test begins on Friday in where an India win will preserve an unbeaten home record that stretches back to 2012. That's sports in our NRP Evening News Roundup, brought to you by Hepburn's Glass, located at 13 Chisholm Avenue in Kingston. Leon Nash reporting.
We promise to bring you a good news story as often as we can. If you know of or are aware of any event or person whose good story we should highlight, please send this information to our email address at nationalreligiousmediaja@gmail.com or call or WhatsApp at 876-336-992. That's the local news and sports. Stand by now for the latest international news, courtesy of the Voice of America.
This is VOA News. I'm Joe Ramsey. The UN's highest court, the International Court of Justice, on Monday opened hearings on the legality of Israel's occupation of Palestinian territories following a 2022 request from the UN General Assembly for an advisory or non-binding opinion. Reuters correspondent Lucy Fielder has more.
Israel captured the West Bank, Gaza, and East Jerusalem, areas of historic Palestine which the Palestinians want for a state, in a 1967 war, and has since built settlements in the West Bank and steadily expanded them. The United Nations has referred to the territories as occupied by Israel since 1967. The case opened as concerns mount about a planned Israeli ground offensive against the Gaza city of Rafah, and less than a month after the World Court ordered Israel to do everything in its power to prevent acts of genocide in Gaza in a separate case. The 15-judge panel is expected to take about 6 months to issue an opinion.
Reuters correspondent Lucy Fielder. Israel's foreign minister says Brazil's president will not be welcome in Israel until he apologizes for comments he made comparing Israel's war in Gaza to the Holocaust, accusing him of a very serious anti-Semitic attack. Yulia Navalny, the widow of Russian opposition leader Alexei Navalny, said on Monday she would continue her husband's fight for a free Russia and called on supporters to battle President Vladimir Putin with greater fury than ever.
Но у меня осталась вторая половина. И она подсказывает мне.
I want to live in a free Russia. I want to build a free Russia, Navalny said in a YouTube video message titled, I will continue the work of Alexei Navalny. The Kremlin has denied involvement in his death. This is VOA News.
That was the latest international news from the Voice of America. Now for the weather report and forecasts. The National Meteorological Service is reporting that there is a cold front west of Jamaica. The cold front is expected to gradually move across the island into tomorrow morning. Expect increased cloudiness and showers tonight through to Tuesday evening and wind conditions across western parishes. Cooler than normal temperatures are also expected tomorrow through to Thursday. Now for our 24-hour forecast. Tonight and tomorrow morning, expect cloudy with occasional showers across western and north central parishes, but it will be partly cloudy elsewhere. Tomorrow afternoon, expect cloudy conditions with occasional showers across central and eastern parishes. Now for a 3-day forecast. On Wednesday, expect partly cloudy conditions in the morning across eastern parishes, but it will be otherwise mostly sunny. Partly cloudy conditions in the afternoon are also expected, with windy conditions across western parishes. On Thursday and Friday, it will be mostly sunny. In other current regional weather features, there is an area of low pressure to the north of northwestern Bahamas. There is a weakening stationary front across Mexico. There is a high pressure ridge building across the Gulf of Mexico. The minimum temperature expected for Kingston tonight is 24 degrees Celsius.
Psalm 37 verse 8 says, "Don't get angry. Don't be upset. It only leads to trouble." This is NRP Media and Radio. The time is 7 o'clock.
Tonight. It is now 7 o'clock. But before we go, here are the headlines. Former JTA President Paul Adams found alive. 3 Kingston men were charged in connection with an altercation with the police along Rocky Road on Monday, February 12. Todd's appeals to political parties to invest in campaign motorcade marshals to ensure the safety of commuters and that motorists participating in campaign activities. Ministry of Education encourages teachers to use the ministry's job bank portal to identify jobs in the sector. And in sports, England spiraled to a miserable and massive defeat by India on the 4th day of the 3rd test in Rajkot. The full half-an-hour package of news in this NRP Evening News Roundup came to you courtesy of NRP Radio, reaching you where you are. No boundaries, no limitations.
Celebrating 3 years since our inception, the NRP brand on radio and other social media platforms on NRP Media JA is your newest online platform accessible for the promotion of your church and community activities along with news and sports related information. It's the platform you have been longing for. So call us today at 876-336-9928 or email us at nationalreligiousmedia@gmail.com.
NRP Media and Radio, reaching you where you are. No boundaries, no limitations.
Here is your invitation to join us again tomorrow morning at 6:30 a.m. for the NRP Break of Day newscast. On behalf of the entire news and production teams, I am Kimberly Ashley for NRP News. We encourage you to join this growing medium by subscribing to our YouTube channel at NRP Media JA, filled and informed. Have a good rest of your evening. Reminding you too that if you walk, ride, or drive, make every effort to arrive alive.